Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the History Vault, our magic connection to the past. I'm Skylar Yore, and I have got the honor to speak with some of the greatest people in history. Today we meet a man whose music defied every boundary of his time. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, a prodigy whose genius echoed across the world. In his short life, he composed more than 600 works that continue to mesmerize us today. But behind the music lies a story that is as fascinating as it is mysterious. Let's uncover the man behind the melodies. Good day, Mr. Mozart. It is such an honor to have you with us today.
Thank you, Skylar. It is both flattering and humbling to know that my work still resonates with people after all these years.
You are one of the most celebrated composers in history, and your work continues to inspire countless musicians and music lovers worldwide. But let's start from the beginning. Your father, Leopold, was a well-known musician and composer. How did his influence shape your early career?
My father was my greatest teacher and mentor. From a young age, he nurtured my musical abilities, and we often traveled together to perform. He taught me not only the technical skills, but also the discipline and passion needed for music. I owe much of my foundation to him.
By the age of 5, you were already composing and performing. How did it feel to be a child prodigy, recognized by royalty and society across Europe?
At the time, it all felt very natural. I loved music so deeply that I didn't see it as something extraordinary. But looking back, I realized the immense pressure and expectations placed upon me from such a young age.
Your years in Salzburg, under Archbishop Colorado's employment, were, from what history tells us, a challenging time. Could you tell us more about that period?
Indeed, it was difficult. I had limited artistic freedom under the Archbishop's strict rules. My music was often controlled, and I felt confined. Eventually, I decided I could no longer tolerate the restrictions and left to pursue my career independently in Vienna.
Vienna marked a new chapter in your life, both professionally and personally. How did that move impact you?
Vienna was exhilarating. It was a city full of creativity and opportunities. I found an audience that appreciated my music. I also met my dear wife, Constance, there. While the city was expensive and at times financially straining, Vienna offered me the freedom to compose as I wished.
One of your best-known works is The Magic Flute. What inspired this piece, and how did you approach composing it?
Ah, the magic flute. I wanted to create something accessible and entertaining but still musically rich. My collaboration with Emanuel Schikaneder, who wrote the libretto, was crucial. Through this opera, I explored themes of enlightenment, love, and the triumph of good over evil. It holds a special place in my heart.
Another famous piece is your Requiem, which, as we know, remained unfinished at the time of your passing. There are many myths about it. Could you share your thoughts on this work?
The Requiem was commissioned by a mysterious patron, and at that time, I was in poor health. The work had a haunting quality, and as I composed, I began to sense it as my own Requiem. Sadly, I couldn't complete it before I passed, and my student Franz Xaver finished it for me.
Your life was marked by both artistic triumphs and financial struggles. How did these financial hardships affect you?
It was a difficult reality. Music was my life, yet it didn't always bring financial stability. The Viennese lifestyle, combined with my impulsive spending habits, made finances challenging. However, I never compromised my art, even if it meant facing hardships.
You famously said, "Neither a lofty degree of intelligence nor imagination, nor both together, go to the making of genius. Love, 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 that is the soul of genius." What does this quote mean to you?
Ah, yes. To me, the greatest creations come from love. Love for music, for life, and for humanity. Technical skill and intellect are essential, but without passion and love, they are lifeless. Music must come from the heart to truly resonate.
One of the remarkable stories from your youth is about your time in Rome, where you heard Allegri's Miserere and managed to transcribe it from memory. Could you tell us more about that experience?
Oh, the Miserere. I was only 14 when I visited the Sistine Chapel and heard this sacred piece. It was forbidden to take the music outside the chapel, but I was so captivated that I listened closely and wrote it down from memory afterward. It felt as if I was preserving something magnificent. That transcription spread quickly, which was quite controversial at the time.
You composed over 600 works during your life, including 41 symphonies. The Jupiter Symphony, your last, is considered one of your greatest achievements. What inspired that composition?
The Jupiter Symphony represents the peak of my symphonic writing. I wanted to craft something rich in harmony and complexity, a piece that would resonate with both musicians and audiences. Its finale weaves several themes into a counterpoint, almost as a tribute to the grandeur of classical form. I hoped it would be a lasting testament to what music could express.
Toward the end of your life, you experienced failing health. What was going through your mind during those final days?
In my last days, I reflected deeply. I was anxious, yes, but also accepting. My mind was still filled with music. I thought of compositions I could not complete. I felt a deep connection to the Requiem, sensing that I might not finish it. Though saddened, I was at peace, knowing my music would live on.
Thank you, Mr. Mozart, for sharing your story with us today. Your journey and insights are inspiring, and your music will undoubtedly continue to touch hearts for generations to come.
Thank you, Skylar. It has been a pleasure to recount my life story. I am grateful that my music continues to be appreciated, and that I could share my thoughts with you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, for now, the vault closes again, but we will reopen it soon with a new fascinating interview partner from the past. Have a nice time until then.